All right, we are back again with Nina Ruberti, and we're talking about Bach Flower Essences yet again, which is great. And this time we're going to focus on the animal messages for, gosh, April. I'm losing track of time. Which the message this month was intolerance. And we were also working with Wolf and their help as well, for us to recognize where our intolerances are, what's activating them, and all of that good stuff. So Nina's come back with some Bach Flower Essences to support that work and help us through. So Nina, what do you have for us this month?
Thank you very much, Julie, again for having me. So intolerance, it's very interesting because there is quite a few. There's 3 of them that I chose again, and they're all very similar, but there's just slight nuances that separates them for the different things. So the first one I have is beech, which is Beech.
Okay.
You see that?
Yep. Okay.
So it's interesting because the underlying like negative soul quality for that is intolerance.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is someone that possibly may be critical of others, may have an inferior complex. Usually they are probably maybe arrogant, they're just intolerant. And I'm not sure if I can say this, but like to remember that they're kind of a little bitchy or beachy. Right?
You have to be self-aware, right? You have to know that you're being beachy, if you
Right.
will. Okay, so this would be, oh gosh, I realize how intolerant I may be. And so, okay.
Yes, so use some beach. Right. Yes. So it's someone that's possibly hypersensitive, they're judgmental, it's a perfectionist that is very kind of probably critical of themselves and others. Like they're always seeing the negative in a situation, they're not able to see the positive. They may have some digestive issues and possibly fear of being vulnerable. Like for animals, it's an animal that is possibly very easily irritated or annoyed. They could be very intolerant of like environmental substances like, herbicides and pesticides that are around. And they're very oversensitive. Like they could be sensitive to the different temperature changes, like the heat and the cold, the humidity or the rain. But it's kind of like some animals that are not, they don't really like being near other animals in their home, or they don't get along with other dogs. It's just kind of, they're just very intolerant of other souls around. So the beach it will restore the tolerance and it will bring flexibility to them. So it will give them, so they'll be able to kind of expand and open and see the goodness in people and the situations. They'll become just more tolerant, more lenient with themselves, which being more lenient with themselves and others kind of allows them to be like kinder and more open. And then that way it just brings a more even balance to them.
So then let me ask you this. So like if the animal has some of these intolerances that you mentioned, even if they're health wise or environmental wise, these 2 are lessons that they're bringing up to the human, or like even reflecting some of it back to the human so that the human can say, oh, you're intolerant there. Where am I intolerant? Like that kind of thing. And then both parties can take beach to help really the human work through the intolerance.
Yes,
okay.
right.
Okay, cool.
Because as both you and I know, they mirror what we really need to work on.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we know they can just really transmute it and they're good. Whereas they're just mirroring us what it is that we need to see so that we're able to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
And to, live a much like higher vibrational frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one is impatience.
Oh, I love it.
So that is like impatience, right? Which, I know you and I have talked about, I use this a lot when I'm driving. But this is really for like someone that is very quick moving. They just move fast, they make decisions quick, they are able to do things quickly. Usually they find it difficult to have patience with people that move slower. That's with me with driving, unfortunately. And like so that they're more independent because they feel like they can get things done faster. Like let's say in a work situation, they're able to get things faster than explaining it to someone and doing that. They would just rather do it themselves and just be done with it. They usually have a very active mind. They're usually pretty high strung because they're they're just very impatient. You know, they get frustrated, they're irritable, and they're just intolerant because they want to get it done quicker.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, so like for an animal, possibly it'd be like the animals that are in training that are just like trying to rush to learn how to do it, but then they make mistakes, or you know, they're ready to get out and then they get out, or they're ready to come back in, or they're ready to eat, or they're ready to drink. They just move really quickly. So
Yeah.
it's like animals, they're very restless and they're kind of uptight. So they're not able to really kind of, you know, calm themselves or to slow down.
Mm.
You know, they may get some skin irritations or like eczema or a lot of itchiness. And it's probably because they're so wound up and going that they just need their nervous system, as humans as well, just to kind of slow down and to breathe.
Oh, wow.
So when you use impatience, you know, this will bring tolerance, it will bring like patience, calmness, you know, possibly like the cooperation with others so that you're able just to see, you know, just to, I mean, because we're all here together as one. So whether you speed up or you slow down, we at the same time, we balance each other out. So
Mhm.
it is to bring that gentleness so that we are able to just like flow with life.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
impatient.
Okay, I can totally relate to that one because I love to move really fast. And but it's a little, so impatience is a little different than decisiveness because I can make a decision when I need to. I'm
Yes.
also Taurus, so I can go slow when I need to. But this people don't move fast enough. I do know I get impatient when people aren't moving fast enough. Yes, with driving and also in other situations. Okay. So this,
Yes. Yes.
but I also realize Lucas is kind of during the day, he's slower because he wants me to go slow. Okay, so I'm seeing what y'all are laying down right now.
Right? Yes, yes, which is it's amazing, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So the third one I've got is vervain.
Okay.
So can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Vervain. Okay, so vervain, this is really like someone who may be like a chairperson of a nonprofit. They may be a speaker, a preacher, or they're very passionate people, but they have very strong ideals and principles.
Mm.
And so they are probably workaholics. They're constantly sacrificing their free time for their good cause of, you know, pushing that kind of on you until you kind of come around and see their way of thinking.
Mm.
They could be intense and very overbearing. You know, they're wound pretty tightly, and they have a difficult time relaxing as well. So, you know, this is like in animals, would be an animal that is constantly going, going, going. They can't get enough exercise. You know,
Mm.
they are very overactive, like they're pulling on the leash, but they just can't settle, nor can they be still. So, you know, vervain is one for humans and animals that will bring about, it will restore restraint to them. So it will be able to like bring them more tolerance so that they're maybe more balanced. And then that way also it enables them to have like a wider range of being open to new ideas or ideas of others instead of just kind of trying to force their own ideas onto other people.
Okay.
And so that is vervain.
Okay. Wow. Because you may have said workaholic. I heard
Yes. Yes.
because I feel like that's where it's because I love what I do. So I tend to want to do it all the time, which means I tend to work more. And then I also load my plate with some volunteer work and whatnot. So, and I need to, which is also what Lucas is trying to get me to do, which is and also the intolerance I can see with what was the one before vervain?
Impatience.
Impatience. Yes. So I can see where the impatience and the vervain for me could actually really help to
Yes.
kind of lower my expectations of where people are,
Yes. Yes.
and also just maybe slow me down, but then also to this just letting go of all
Yes.
things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, and you know, you can just like when you feel like you're getting that way, you can just put one drop below, underneath your tongue and just allow it. I mean, it's amazing because you know this, that you just feel the shift and how like you become so present, so much more present because you're just calmer. And then
Mhm.
you're able to like, and I feel like when we do that, you are able to, you know, you are more tolerant because then you're more present. So you're able to hear other people's ideas or their opinions and what it is they're trying to say or to convey. And it's just more balanced,
Yeah.
just we just breathe and are more centered.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And we have to check all three of these out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes. I mean, they're great and all three of them work well together. But it's
Yeah.
just like little nuances, as we were saying, that makes the difference. And the remedy just like right on, spot on. That is like, oh, okay, that brings me back into the present moment.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
calms us down.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to check these out because I've noticed like how intolerance has popped up for me all month, like taking a walk out in the nature preserve. People are not cleaning up after their dogs, and I end up being the poop fairy, and it's driving me crazy. And yet I want to be nice to the fairies and all the animals, but it's like I don't want to be the one. So I could use some of these.
Right. And well, and that's also like kind of like letting that go, right? Because it's like, okay, if you want to do that, then do it. But,
Yeah.
it's like you don't have to put that upon yourself to do it. So it is becoming like critical of yourself,
Yes.
putting that high standard upon yourself,
Yeah.
yet you don't really need to.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
It's
like
like when I,
letting that go.
yeah, it's like long ago I heard if it's to be, it's up to me. And I always thought, well, if it's to be, it's I have to do it all. And then once my dad passed, I realized, oh, if it's to be, it's up, like it's the inner work. It's up. Oh, and I'm still in that trying to figure out
I
that.
think we're all in that, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're all in that inner work still phase.
Yes. A lot of inner work right now. Yeah.
As long as we're doing the inner work, we're good.
Exactly. That's the key.
You
Yes. And
know?
these help. These absolutely help. Don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, it is amazing the difference that shifts. And all of a sudden, especially for intolerance, that I mean, I know that I carry, impatience around with me in my car. And it is amazing that you just feel your body just shift, and you come into a more balanced place in your life. And you're like, God, why am I so uptight? Like,
Mhm.
it just kind of amazes you as to, wow, really? Okay, it's temporary. That will pass, and a lot of times, like when you're driving or whatever the situation is, it's like, okay, life is telling me to slow down because they're putting me behind someone that is really slow. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, let's just take a moment and pause and just, we're gonna get where we're going, but we're just, I think at times, I know for me, just wound up. It's like, okay, I gotta like move like this. And it's like, no, it's okay to you know, to be calm and to take a moment and just slow down. You're still going to get where you need to go, or the same thing is the same outcome is going to be the same. It's just we need to, because then
Yeah.
when we're this way, like your whole nervous system is also out of whack, right? So you need to settle that. And I know that's a big lesson for me in this lifetime is to calm my nervous system, which
Mhm.
Bailey helps assist me with that because he's much more calmer. And it's like, okay, let's just, enjoy nature and get out and, and smell the roses, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the
Exactly.
Bach Flower Essences definitely assist with that.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, I love these. Okay, I'm gonna check these ones out for sure. Awesome. Well, thanks for helping
Thank
us
you.
understand more of this, Nina. I really appreciate you
Yes.
being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it as well.